was Kerrigan.
Right. We're going into draft. No Tomorrow was the one who picked this battleground. Even in qualifiers, they preferred Matt pick over first pick. So they're staying true with how they have played in qualifiers. We'll see if the difference between Shrines and Tomb is enough to let them bring the series back.
All right. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm mistaken. It's teammate who picked it.
All right, so now Ragnaros is already removed here, showing No Tomorrow doesn't want to consider it as a first pick, which I'm guessing since Artanis was removed by teammate, it's got to be the Kerrigan, or an answer to the Kerrigan. If that was going to be the case, I would expect it to be either a Tassadar, probably just a Tassadar. It's more universal, but instead going with the Tychus.
That is already a bit scary.
Wow.
But
wow.
What?
Instant
Is
lock of
this
Medivh.
Shrines?
I've never in my life have I seen a situation where Kerrigan and Glaurung would be like, you know, that seems like a place where it would pop up and he just instant lock Medivh.
He has a new bay.
A new bay and it's Medivh?
His name is Medivh.
Okay.
Do No Tomorrow get it here now? I wonder if No Tomorrow knew. I have no clue if these teams have scrimmed very much versus each other, and maybe No Tomorrow knows that that's not something that teammate has been prioritizing as much on Shrines, even though pretty much every other team in the entire world probably would.
Or Medivh lock-in for Glaurung then is a soft answer, as we brought up the last time we were on this map against Kerrigan. So they're baiting them. But then if they don't ban it in the next phase, obviously they're going to be like, nope, Chuck Testa put somebody else on Medivh. Glaurung's going to be on the Kerrigan, and we go full circle.
The mind games commence.
Exactly. Either way, No Tomorrow is going to be locking in the ETC and the Gul'dan. Gul'dan has seen more presence here all day in the North American scene than I did expect, even on Infernal Shrines, where he's good. Not as good as maps like Braxis, but he does thrive in the long poke, especially when he finishes his level 1 quest talent.
And finishing up those level 1 quest talents, he's good on Battlegrounds where there's typically a rotation between 2 lanes.
Yeah.
Because you have more of an option of hitting multiple people at once with a single corruption.
That is true. Bizarria was removed here for Team 8 in the back half of this draft. What do we expect to see for No Tomorrow?
Diablo?
Yeah, it might be the Diablo. They're just because they were afraid of seeing
Shrines.
the Medivh and Diablo in the front line and the presence he was going to have. This is Infernal Shrines, and I think that does make sense, but I don't think by any means they have to.
Right. Buds is playing Malfurion. Oh,
They knew.
no, they
knew. They knew my mind game. The double mind games there. They were afraid of it. They get rid of it. And now that does leave the Diablo up for the front line, if that's the route that they want to see. There it is.
I think it was played well by Justing.
Yeah. So then backliner here, with Tychus off the table, Vala is something. Sylvanas is going to be the pickup here for Team 8. I don't know if they have enough Shrine control for me to justify a Sylvanas pick there. Sylv is absolutely great when you get the Shrine, but you have to have somebody be able to get the clear. And when Malfurion slash Medivh, if he manages to hit a target with his Q, are your best odds. I don't know how sold I am on that.
I don't think that's, I think that's Prismaticism's Sylvanas, so we don't have a Yoda pick still, unless Yoda can also play Medivh, and then Glaurung's going to be on something else. But Prismaticism, probably his most comfort hero, I would say, would be Sylvanas.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say his best performances, even on land setting, would probably be on Sylvanas. At times he would really show. Other times Wailing Arrow would kind of, be a little, leave something to be desired. But Nazeebo.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. All right, so.
Did he really?
Yes. Okay. So Nazeebo is rising from the depths in power. I'm not kidding. This guy, he rolls in. Once you hit that late game spike, he suddenly becomes a monster. 1 Q, any squishy is really going to be struggling. I don't know if I look at this and go, oh, Nazeebo, it's the end of the game. But I like it purely on the fact that I do think Nazebo's had a spot for a while, but he just hasn't, nobody's found it, or he's really kind of like shown it that much. And I think I like it. I love him. And Nazeebo is cool. The poke that he provides, it's kind of a response to having, on the opposite side, the fact that we do have Gul'dan, he's going to be poking. Nazebo's going to, he throws his jar of spiders and they all attack some things. And over time, especially later, he scales hard. And you can't dive him like you can Ghoul.
Right. Is it spider build, toad build, that I Dream Ring of Zombies, zombie wall build that he had one time with Ring of Poison?
I think I like Q the most, but I think talents in a couple of the other directions doesn't hurt either. I don't think you have to no life into the Q. But we'll see how it works out. I'm more surprised by the Medivh first pick than I am by the Nazebo last. I guess I'll put it that way.
That surprises me.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just don't see Medivh's value that high in a draft on that map. I think that he's not bad. Granted, I know that I've spoken highly of Medivh. He's insane and kind of untouched or untapped potential, but I didn't expect it from Team 8 there.
Well, we're ready to see how Nazebo is going to work out for Team 8. Here we go into game number 2 on Infernal Shrines.
All right, no tomorrow, and their starting lineup here on the blue side. It's going to be Casanova playing the Thrall. Urho is going to be playing ETC. Jason is going to be on Tychus. Rhaegar will be played by Tiger JK. And Talking Trees is going to be on the Gul'dan.
Casanova really wanted to look deep into the eyes of Jack. Here's Team 8 with Buds playing Malfurion, Glaurung playing Medivh once again, Justing on Diablo, Yoda playing Sylvanas, and Prismaticism is going to be playing the Nazebo, actually. So a little bit of a switch up of what we thought and who would be playing Sylvanas and Nazebo.
All right, well, let's look at the keys to the series here for Team 8. Let Glaurung carry. Turns out they don't need that. Either put Glaurung on Medivh. I personally wrote that one, and I'm changing it now. It is going to be put Glaurung on Medivh. Next is going to be Don't Be Afraid of Macro. Again, the shot calling and decision making from Team 8 I think is going to be superior for No Tomorrow, at least early in HGC North America.
Can we say let Justing carry the compositions?
Yeah.
Man, before pre-1 minute kill, just picking them up, throwing them down, getting the kill.
And then again, until No Tomorrow, everybody in the past has had heavy criticism towards Urho, Tiger JK. They've worked in teams in the past in that they are pretty easy, to rustle their jimmies. And that could be a strategy. What? You don't like rustle my
I do not like that saying.
Well.
Something seems weird about it. I don't know. Justing's throwing somebody in again. Prismaticism throws out spiders. Those are going to chase Casanova for quite a while, and you'll have to run back behind the gate, buying them some time to hang out in the lane, Thrall free. I want to look at Nazebo's build. Okay, so Thing of the Deep increases the range of all of his basic abilities by 20%. Makes me think that it's going to be the zombie wall build, but does not have to be. Again, obviously there's not like a meta Nazebo build right now because he's just not meta yet. He's had an insane climb in Hero League, at least from North America, from a Master and Grandmaster area. He has become legitimately, it's not weird when he's first picked. Like on almost any map, he seems to suddenly hit a spike, but he is a lot more forgiving for a solo queue scenario than he is here at the HGC. Competitive things get a little weird and are a lot more difficult to be able to deal with. So we'll see if the Nazebo pick here is going to be justified. But for now, 5 Skeletal Defenders are in the hands of Team 8, and No Tomorrow has now made the rotation up. Prismaticism also showed one of the value things that you get out of having a Nazebo, which is that he can stall waves of minions, saving ammo off of your towers, which is something that is overlooked in a lot of situations, but pays off in a big way, something that Johanna can do too. First Shrine has started pretty close in terms of who has more Skeletal Defenders. Airho, the target, once again has to power slide through. There's a portal to help secure another kill for Team 8.
Yeah, and the power slide getting interrupted there by Buds, entangling roots on the ground. Very well done. And this is going to give Team 8 the opportunity to clear up these Skeletal Defenders. They'll be having the Punisher, punishing, I guess. Is that what a Punisher does? He punishes?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, they're going to allow that. And Medivh. So let's talk about Medivh on Infernal Shrines. He does enable hyper-aggression with Sylvanas and Medivh in the sense that Punisher goes over the wall, and Sylv is going to disable everything. Portal is going to leap a full 5 versus 5, and that hurts. Right there is the portal. Everybody goes in, but the disabling is not as effective as maybe they had hoped. And okay, so I was just talking that up. I promise when all 5 people go through, it looks way cooler. But that was blatant. Justin was like, all right, time's up. We're going in. And
Leroy Jenkins.
Exactly. But they were not all on the same page there. And this is something that teammates got to be able to clean up here.
Next time. They didn't lose too much. They took out towers. They are caught up in experience, basically. They just let No Tomorrow catch up, which is not ideal, but at least it doesn't put Team 8 behind. Yeah. Focus on mercenary camps at this point. A little bit faster rotations to that from No Tomorrow. Airho's checking in to see if anybody started these, which Bud sees too.
I'm sorry. That last engage was so funny. I'm just... Oh man, I'm just imagine this constant Diablo just, you know, going in solo. He's like, team? But I do expect the next portal to go down over that wall. That Sylv and everybody else will be there to back up the Diablo. My goodness. And Nazebo also hasn't ramped up nearly as hard as he can. Keep in mind, he is going to scale later, but Gul'dan will too. So the real question, you know, kind of comes out to, you know, who scales harder. I think I give it to Gul'dan in the long run. Just the HP of Nazebo is very high, so we can kind of beef it out a little bit. Right, with Dead Rush picked up at level 7, Nazebo is indeed going for Ring of Poison, and that is waiting until 16. It takes a while to ramp up, whereas Echoed Corruption could come in earlier on. It just depends how fast trees can build those stacks. And it just hits so hard. It's got to be one of the hardest hitting spells kind of in the entire game here. But overall, we do have the next Shrine phase is going to be up spawning onto bottom. Nazebo is trying to be able to pick up the Shaman camp here. That will be timed well, a little late. He also is going to have to back because he's too This is a huge misplay on timing for Team 8, and we'll see if No Tomorrow can capitalize by getting on it quickly. That is a 10 advantage Skeletal Defender, and they just saw somebody's away. They know they have free reign for a short period of time. No Tomorrow hanging out. Better rotations equal more of the Skeletal Defenders earlier on, which means if Team 8 wants to try to stop this, when they come in, they have to instantly go for the fight. I'm not sure that they want to do that. They may just be willing to give it up, especially because they have Yoda as well as Bruisers pushing up toward the top 4. So the decision to be able to forfeit the map objective here and get that split push, that's what I was talking about a little bit when it comes to diversity of this map. But Yoda is going to be lightninged out. He is going to be dismounted here. I don't think there's any chance he survives this, except for... At least he B-stepped. There's... Oh! Glara comes in with the portal! My goodness! I wasn't even watching. I was just willing to accept his death. You know who wasn't willing to accept his death? Glaura. Oh, what a save. Heroic abilities online for Team 8. Gargantuan the choice for Nazebo. Everything else. We've got the Librarian combo in the house. Double silence from Sylvanas and Malfurion. Apocalypse. Medivh still waiting. Glau's considering. With a lot of melee, there's maybe the potential for Polybomb? Do you still like Leyline? I love Leyline, but I think Poly is kind of like underestimated in a lot of situations. It comes down to how bad do you need the interrupt, which without the Mosh, I can consider having like, because you can get the instant interrupt and then hopefully anybody who moves in, you can help interrupt with them. But because they have Sunder, it's a huge counter momentum to have Leyline. I would look to try and make that a thing over their opponents, but... Nazebo's done. Yep, that high health pool is not so high. That enables No Tomorrow to push down the rest of the towers, catch up once again in experience, and maybe even start working on the fort here in the bottom. Yeah, they're going to be able to get a sweet siege up here. ETC is rotated to mid, but he does have stage dive. Justin comes in. Good shield again from Glaurung. That was a lot of what we saw last game. You know, just charging in, getting the shield, and he really just couldn't be touched for most of the game. When we look at structures, though, Team 8 does have the slight advantage in the sense that top is down. Also, because the next Shrine phase is going to be spawning here, I believe it's going to be in like 45 seconds, a little bit longer. It does leave them the opportunity to be able to pick up the Shaman camp for No Tomorrow, and we'll see if they move down that avenue here as ETC is just trying to split south.
looks like all of Team 8 are going in all in to the invade of the Khazra.
Oh, there's the, oh my goodness, so much damage. Sunder and the stage dive is going to eliminate Nazeebo from this world. Portal's been used. Great Fear is going to isolate Diablo. He's going to be going down. He doesn't have the souls, and he's going to be dead for a full death timer.
That was a pretty risky invade. I think they thought maybe more people from No Tomorrow had rotated up to the shrine than had been before, but immediate response from No Tomorrow to come in. Stage dive back in behind to split apart the team. Very good. Very well done.
Sunder.
Yep.
Not Earthquake.
It's still a thing.
Is it?
It does
I was
more
just
damage.
saying that you thought I was a weirdo last time for suggesting that.
That was before the patch changes.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just saying Sunder does a lot of damage, an insane amount of initiation. I still think it's very undervalued. I like the choice here. I didn't expect to be paired with Stage Dive. Not necessarily the standard one like wombo combo.
And
I think
Horrify. There's
Yeah.
some potential to not execute those right, but there is one thing that I noticed about No Tomorrow is they didn't have as many synergy problems as some of the other new teams in qualifiers.
Okay.
They seem to pick up heroic synergies together and work together in team fights fairly well. It was one of the reasons why they were able to take a game off of Naventic in the first qualifier.
Well, we'll see if that happens here, because right now things are looking pretty. 13 tier advantage. The Punisher just ended, but Shaman Camp is pressuring the top lane. Team 8 here is trying to move up. They just picked up the 13. No Tomorrow's done a very good job on, just focusing on their rotations here, worrying about the objective game so far. Better than I guess I expected them to. And now they're, again, the rotation of bottom, seeing Nazeebo top. It's very pretty.
They've kept good eyes, better eyes even on Team 8 this time too. Like being able to respond so fast to when the Khazra are being invaded by Team 8. Now they're doing an invasion of their own. Seeing people off the battleground, expecting them to be up at the Bruisers, not seeing them here at the Khazra, and they pick those up too. You're right, the rotations have been on point this game for No Tomorrow, and it wasn't even their battleground choice. I keep thinking that it was. I keep hoping, but it looks like they just needed the fresh game.
Yeah, it's a very impressive play coming out from them. Again, before the series started, I did expect Team 8 to be a little bit more fluid purely on just Glarong and the communication and experience he provides, but No Tomorrow, even not on their map pick, is doing well. Now they do have the Shaman Camp up top for Team 8, and you see ETC, he's got the stage dive, so he's going to be trying to get that clear whenever possible. And this is, I understand the thought process there. Very well done from Urho to be able to back out, but if nobody's showing on the map, it's pretty easy to expect, it's actually an old school rule in Heroes. If a camp is captured in a lane, expect the gank there, because somebody's going to go there to get the clear, and Urho did exactly that.
Encore and loudspeakers trying to disrupt people continually around Glaurung's portals. Both teams, even on talent tiers, level 13 means a lot of safety for the members of Team 8 too. 2 ice blocks between Malfurion and Nazeebo, and then Windrunner 2 from Sylvanas. So hopefully that's the change they need to stop if another big Sunder combo comes in.
Well, we're about to find out. 16 is going to not be available for some time here for No Tomorrow, as they are getting aggressive. If that mid-4 falls, it will get them 16 in enough time. But nobody has actually made the rotation to get the clear. Team 8 now has made their way up. 7 skeletal defenders. The camp is still pressuring on bottom. This is in No Tomorrow's favor, just to buy as much time as they can. That Sunder's going to be a big 3-man split, though, and that is going to be a huge Horrify. Buzz is in a tough spot, but that is going to be the ice block. And Twilight Dream even interrupted. No Tomorrow, that was perfect.
That was so incredible.
Oh.
That was an awesome fight. Even Arrow in the back line, who was it? Justin got horrified into the zombie wall. It was awesome.
That was some clean play there coming up from No Tomorrow. Far more smooth than what we've seen, what we saw at least earlier in this series. But now that means Team 8 is going to be forfeiting this. I love the fact that they're making the rotation, being able to get rid of this fort before they finish this Punisher. And Buds is in a tough spot. He is going to be going down here. He's going to be able to save his Twilight Dream at least.
Right guard body blocks.
Not every time. Medivh's
Where's
not there.
the butt fight?
Medivh's here.
See?
Medivh's here.
Here it is.
Oh, he did it again. My goodness.
Twilight Dream saves the day.
Oh my gosh, Glaurung is just saving everybody there. To be fair though, I don't know if the Twilight Dream use was justified.
Yeah.
That cooldown is going to be needed about the moment the Punisher leaps over this key front wall. But again, at least Glaurung got the save. It looked cool.
It did look cool. And 16's almost here for the defense from Team 8. And they're going to need it.
Yeah, Sunder's going to be available. Stage Dive is available too. I expect another synergistic, you know, whenever they group, split the C's. Casanova has done a very good job though with those Sunders so far in this game.
Yeah, I think that that Thrall is probably his best hero. Just looking at what he played in qualifiers, Stage Dive is down, as is Odin, so the time is now. Leyline Seal blocks for now, but Sylvanas has already been hit. Casanova sundered off to the side, getting chased back by Glaurung and Prismaticism. Twilight Dream, no, it's not enough. Team 8 barely keeps alive Diablo.
That was ridiculous, the amount of peel. Sylvanas is still dead though, and this keep is falling down. It took a lot of heroics to be able to make that happen, but in the end, No Tomorrow does get the upper hand here. Team 8, it just doesn't seem to have the answer when it comes to the team fights here and their composition.
Yeah, not having Twilight Dream, you're right, was difficult for that.
Yeah, the whole time, the minute it leaps over the wall, you're like, Twilight Dream, can you come off cooldown faster? Thank you. Especially with Sylph getting killed
Going
so
down,
quick.
right.
They have no silence, no counter momentum. But now No Tomorrow, they're just going to back out, get the camps, paint the map blue. You know, very much the norm of what you want to have happen. Limit your opponent's advantage to be able to gain any experience, any upper hand here. This is a rough spot for Team 8. I guess this is a bit more of what I expected before Game 1 started, but then after what I saw from Team 8, I was like, all right, you know, I might have been wrong about this. Maybe Team 8, you know, they've got it going on. But then the whole game, No Tomorrow, it just seems to be so well orchestrated together on the same page. It's not even like really that they're winning, right? Like I wouldn't be that surprised. It's the fashion in which they're doing so that seems so impressive.
Very smooth between all the teams, well coordinated in team fights, especially with heroics that are not always easy to do so with that. And
yeah.
I think what is so surprising for us is, again, yes, these members have all been in the scene for a long time, minus Casanova, but he still played on a dorm team. But the fact that they come together just for this tournament and already show this level of synergy on something that's not quite so easy is impressive and should be highlighted.
Yeah, I can I've probably seen too many whiffs, Stage Dive, you know, Horrify Sunders, like you just split the C's and then you throw the Horrify out and then it hits nobody and you're like, sorry guys. I've seen more of that even in competitive play on the, you know, once the skill drops, especially from teams from other parts of the world, than I probably would like to admit to. It is impressive what they've been able to do, but again, they do have the 2-level advantage keep as well. They're about to close in onto the 20 if they try and buy enough time and get the clear. I'm surprised Urho hasn't gone bottom to just pressure out as much as he can to help gain that experience advantage. So a bit of a risk here for No Tomorrow, but they do have still a huge lead. As Urho gets chunks, that's going to be the Sunder use too. Buzz is in a safe spot after the Horrify. This is not a good fight for No Tomorrow.
Horrify is already down. No Tomorrow are really just down to Stage Dive and Commandeer Odin. There's a lot of ability, a lot of silences for Team 8, and they're starting to make things happen. They have taken out Thrall.
And now Skeletal Defenders 28-5. Jason's moving in there on the Tychus. Nazebo's ice blocking and isolating himself, but he is not going to be threatened at all. Glaurung sets down the portal, and Team 8 now has turned the momentum into their favors. They're going to be able to lock in that Punisher, and it all started with No Tomorrow not being willing to, you know, use that ETC, get that 20 advantage, buy time. A little bit too hasteful there on their, or at least eager when it comes to the team fighting.
No Thrall for...
Oh. This is the combo. We get to finally see it.
All right, let's see if it can go better. Portal's already down, though.
I know. Everybody has to go in it this time, though. It doesn't count if not everybody goes in. There's the disable.
Should be up now.
Leap's going to be up, coming up soon. That's actually Urho just power sliding away, realizing things are not pretty for his team. He will be the noble sacrifice.
Oh, no! The Encore knocked everybody even closer to him instead of getting the knockback to save his life.
All right, now, again, the disable here coming out from Sylvanas. It's going to leap over this wall. 20 advantage still for No Tomorrow, but they're going to be down a man. Wait for the leap and the portal. Is it going to happen? No, so much patience here from Team 8 because they do not have the 20-tier advantage.
It's pretty low, too.
I just want to see it, you know?
I know.
Europe ran it, specifically ADRD, the team he was on at the time, ran a version of this that impressed me when Medivh officially became competitively viable.
Don't give up hope. There's still time.
Team 8, I mean, it's not like it's an easy comp. It's actually very, very difficult. It's just that they haven't had enough, opportunities really to make that happen. But they did turn quite a bit around. They've managed to buy time to be able to get to 20. And they're only down a keep. So really, it's kind of anybody's game at this point.
That triple specialist comp starting to stack up in damage too. Talent choices did not go the way I thought. Picking up Spider Colony, having more spiders available. What's 20, Nazeebo? Okay. Getting a Vile Infection. Not sure on his stacks for his poison, but that can start dealing a lot of poison damage when you're looking at being able to take down all of the health bars of No Tomorrow.
And 4-man rotation here down to bottom. ETC is now actually getting a little bit of the split push. The Shaman Camp is not going to be impactful for No Tomorrow, but it will be impactful for Team 8. For those who don't know, the Shaman Camp actually pretty much just suicides when it gets the core. The dogs move in, then the splash gets onto the Shaman itself, and it doesn't look good. So if Team 8 grabs this Shaman Camp, times it perfectly with No Tomorrow, and then at least gets a clear, they could get a free keep over a long duration fight, which their comp can make happen. But there also is the global of ETC, so maybe it's not as pretty as I was painting it the first time here. But both teams, they pick up the Shaman. It looks like Team 8's going to get the clear onto the Shaman. And we have 25 seconds before we have a potential game-deciding Punisher.
Team 8 has cleared out, but does not see very many of the members. Justin was anchoring to make sure there were no flanks from No Tomorrow. They want to make sure that the fight happens around this shrine. There's a lot of places where Diablo can run in, stun somebody against walls around these shrines. That could be the start of the end for Team 8 to close out and get a second game in this series. Not close it out just yet, but get close.
And now we see ETC is getting that split push here. Even though the 20 is, like, it's funny, if they were going to do this split pushing decision, the last time was the time to do it, but huge amount of damage there going out. The Leyline Seal is going to be the split. There's the stage dive. Apoc's use is going to land on the 3. The Blink, the Twilight Dream. A lot of DPS have been put out into No Tomorrow. Urho's on the retreat. Jason as well, as Tiger JK keeps everyone alive here. Nobody goes down, but that was every heroic for Team 8, while we have Ancestral Healing, Horrify, Sunder, Odin, all here for No Tomorrow.
Yeah, the focus was very split. Buds bolted in and got Twilight Dream. Here comes Casanova off to the side. Horrify hits Malfurion,
39.
and that's the first kill that he needs.
They managed to get it. The Punisher's going to go over to Team 8, but Malfurion's already dead. Justings is falling relatively low as he survives for what seems almost ever he gets out.
Glaurung, come on!
I love it, dude. The Glaurung taxi just goes, "Come with me, my child," and he just saves everyone.
Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to live. All
That
right.
was a terrible impression.
Oh, man. Either way, this game has been an absolute doozy as this bottom port is going to be punished, is the verb we're calling it so far here at HGC North America. Uro takes a bit more damage than he would have liked, but Team 8 got the Punisher, but they didn't get anything off of it. So it's, again, we're pretty much exactly where we were before that shrine even spawned.
That team fight did seem like they were panicked to make something happen. Wailing Arrow happened very soon. Like the first person that they grabbed was hit by Wailing Arrow.
Yes.
It was easily cleansed out. That person got away. And then the focus shifted down toward the bottom of the fight while Buds bolted in and hit a beautiful Twilight Dream, you're right, but nobody else was there to follow up with damage to get a kill off of the Twilight Dream. This is a scary moment for both of these teams, but the team that is able to stay patient, not freak out at this point, is the one who is going to win this game right now.
Yeah, the nerves have got to be something to consider, especially with these newer rosters here. But I'm trying to see if there's like any big play or any situation I want to see from either one of these teams. And other than patience on the Wailing Arrow, not really. I think everything's been pretty good, especially for No Tomorrow. But here they're going to be able to pick up this camp. They have the one on bottom too. No Tomorrow does have the opportunity to actually just siege into their opponents. It's maybe not a risk they
zombie wall.
necessarily have to.
They're going to push bottom, at least take down towers here. It's nice if you can bring down towers because if, in fact, the next Punisher is in this lane, or whenever they get a Punisher in this lane, then it guarantees that there's nothing to jump over, no safety net for Team 8. So No Tomorrow are just looking for the next Punisher phase and making sure that they have everything set up in a way that they need. Also, it helps push back the lanes a little bit more. If they keep the lanes pushed, it gives them more vision, helps them get ready. It's up in the top. This is where there is no keep remaining for Team 8. It's important that they win this.
Could move on to the core or to the mid keep there. Even where they make it leap is something they have to consider. Both the Shaman camps are going to be up 2. But let's be honest here, both the teams are probably just going to get rid of those as quick as they can. I doubt we're going to see any value here. So, Team 8, the last initiation they had, it looked a little bit pretty, a little bit sloppy, and then suddenly things turned really quickly as No Tomorrow still had all their heroics. We'll see if their initiation is a bit cleaner than the last one. Glorong scouting it out, 7 skeletal defenders here. Casanova is the last person that you need to be able to get picked here. Odin's going to be popped early. And again, Casanova is going to get a lot of poke onto him. Leyline Seal's burned. Same with the cleanse, though, Gilly. This is not the initiation teammate wants.
Nope, Leyline Seal is already over, and it only hit Tiger JK. Jason is flanking off to the side. Justin comes in, hits him with a huge Shadow Charge stun. Apocalypse goes down 2. Buds is all but dead, but Ice blocks to save himself for now. Ancestral healing has been used. Medivh is the first one to fall, but No Tomorrow's health bars are getting pretty low.
But the Nazebo damage, look at everybody is falling. Casanova goes down, that's 1 for 1. The power slide, that is going to get rid of Team 8's member. The Punisher now moving in. And so 2 people dead for Team 8. 1 person is only going to be available.
Make that 3.
Yeah, never mind. There we go. He ends up going down here. So a 3v3 as the Punisher is now pushing in against No Tomorrow, even with that initiation that Team 8 really didn't want. And they don't have any of their cheeky tools, sadly. Both of the cool kid tools with the Punisher are not there. We don't have the disabling. We don't have the portal capabilities here. So things will be, you know, a little not nearly as flashy as they've been in the last 2 cycles.
I'm sorry that you might not get to see that combo, but Team 8 is so happy that they can bring down a keep and even up the pressure in that top lane. You can see that the minions have pushed in and even started to do core damage to Team 8 just slightly. So alleviating that pressure of the catapult is a gigantic win for Team 8.
All right, so now No Tomorrow, what is the strategy? How do they deal with this? They've lost the last 2 fights. And I think the number one thing I think that they can do is keep the top lane as middle ground as possible. If you draw like a line halfway through the map, keep it there as much as they possibly can and try and stack the waves on top of one another. And then as it slowly leans towards Team 8, have ETC come in, make sure he gets the clear, force the stage dive, and then try and rely a little bit of, siege, split pressure, because smashing your face into Team 8 is not seem to be working here, even when things aren't as smooth as we'd expect for them.
All right, Team 8 starting to do a lot in the team fights, even if the heroic abilities don't quite work out at the beginning. Last fight, it was the Nazebo's poisons, especially now that he has this level 20 poison, that are almost too much to deal with for No Tomorrow, only having the 1 support hero.
All right, Medivh has made the rotation to push out a little bit on top. This is the timing where No Tomorrow would have to go and pressure top if they're going to be able to do so in a small time frame, or in the reasonable time frame. Now is going to be their time, as Glorong is just pretty much scouting as best as he can. It's all going to come down to the team fight. No team is really pressuring or risking anything outside of shrines. They're all banking on the shrine itself to be the win condition, which is surprising for No Tomorrow since the last 2 haven't really worked out. Maybe take a fight in a little bit different territory, one that can't get Wailing Arrow, Twilight Dream, Leyline Sealed, and Apox. Maybe sieging bottom keep, forcing the fight there, but they're willing to take those over and over again. And we'll see if they're going to. All it's going to take is one, small mistake, and they could gain enough momentum.
Was on the battleground for No Tomorrow when Team 8 was looking for them, but of course they have Glowering who can fly around until he finds them. I think No Tomorrow was hoping that once those bruisers came up, they could catch them in the rotations for that. ETC could always stage dive in, and until then is pushing the top lane, but versus Medivh, it's just so hard to ever set up something like that, because as long as he's playing Medivh right, he's constantly looking for the other team.
Shaman camps are up once more. Maybe going to gain a little bit of value here this time, but I guess we'll have to find out. Skeletal defenders have already been started here. for No Tomorrow. The flip there, the combo again, except we don't see nearly as many heroics or resources used. Casanova splits 3 people. The lane line seal is going to come in at the same time as APOC. It cancels it. Gilly, this is not pretty, but the Twilight Dream and the Bolt, that's 4 people silenced.
Twilight Dream was huge, and Justing is doing massive amounts of damage now with getting Devastated Charge. ETC and Gul'dan melt under the pressure. Glaurung and Yoda secure another kill, a 3rd kill on Tychus. They're jumping in for more. They know that this is it.
Yes, they're going to be able to confirm at least. They're going through top rather than disabling mid. This is a misplay in the sense that they just lost a lot of time. But they don't have Sunder up. I don't think they can't stop this, but they are buying as much time as they possibly could have here, as Team 8 is terrified to move in for this win.
No Tomorrow are going to do whatever they can. Casanova and Tiger JK going after Glaurung and Yoda. Casanova falls, and that will be it. This game was so back and forth, but in the end, the team fight capabilities of Team 8 proved to be stronger and will net them the win on Infernal Shrines.